Welcome to the future of learning, where innovation meets education. How are you, Hughwyn?
I'm good, Marcy. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. What do you have in store for us today?
Well, I'm excited because we're launching a new series called Busy Teachers, How AI Can Save You Time. And the
Oh,
aim of this podcast series is going to be giving you tools and tips to save time in your classroom and your job so that you can be more efficient and you can spend your time better with your kids that you teach rather than having to do all the busy work. So we're going to look at a couple of tools over the next few weeks and starting off with one today.
excellent. So if you're a teacher and you feel like you're busy and don't have much time to do anything, you don't want to be missing out on this episode.
Yep, definitely want to follow along here. So, first things first is I'm going to show you a tool that we're going to look at together. This is called Magic School, and it's one of the most common AI tools. So, it's one of many tools that are currently out there for teachers to use. You may have experience of using some of them, or you might not have heard of any. So, the main ones I have highlighted here in bold, so Magic School, ChatGPT, Google Gemini, and Microsoft Copilot are the main ones that are the most popular. There's a few others, but the ones that are the most commonly seen and used are those ones there. Today we're looking at Magic School. So Magic School is a really good website because it has little tools that you can choose based on what you want to do. So we're going to cover the 4 of the ones that I've found to be helpful and that have saved me time. So I'll talk about those shortly. Okay, so we're going to look at the email responder tool, report card comments, worksheet generator, and the YouTube questions generator. And all of them, again, are going to save you time. And that's what we're all about in this episode. So the email responder. Marcy, I'm sure you've had it be the case where you have received a lengthy email from a parent, and sometimes it might be a complaint about their child, or sometimes it just might be a concern that they have. The problem that this brings to you is that it usually takes a lot of time because you've got to think about how you're going to respond to this email from this parent who's concerned, and rightly so. You know, they're allowed to be concerned, and often just that thinking about it and thinking about that and then having to type it, all of that amounts to a lot of time. So this email responder tool that I'm going to show you will save you time, guaranteed. I estimate it will probably save you per email, it depends how many you get, the class that you have, at least 15 to 20 minutes time from when you receive the email. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little demonstration here. So I've got a draft email that ironically, I've used AI to generate a email from a parent who's disgruntled that their child is not being challenged in their class enough. So again, this might be quite common. Magic School has a tool for this. So the email responder tool, I'm just going to go in here. I'm going to paste the email that AI generated for me already. It's not a real email. And what I want to do is I've got the email there. The tone that I want to respond to is I'm going to go friendly. I want to sound caring and respectful. So those are the kind of values that I want to get from my response, or want the parent to receive from the response. Now, I'll generate this here. You can see within seconds, I have a response here. And the thing with AI is that it's asking teachers to be that final 30 to 20%. So, you know, if AI is doing 70% of the work, you're coming in and doing that remaining 30. If it's doing 80% of the work, you're doing that last 20. So this email here by itself is not good enough to just send back, because sometimes there's a bit of it'll choose language that'll probably be too elaborate or a little bit too much, and it doesn't sound like you. So you've got to jump in here and change a few things. But what it does do is it drafts out a structure of the email based on what was said. So now I've got a good email here that I can just take, I can tweak it, and I can send that email, and it's still going to be me. It's still authentically me. It's still my words. I've just taken a structure, and it saved me time in that response there. So
and
that's
you
one
were
that I estimate 15 to 20 minutes at least. What do you
and
think?
you were friendly. Well, I love the idea that you can say how you want to sound, so respectful, friendly, and caring.
Yep.
So that I think that's a game changer compared to other AI tools.
Yeah, and it absolutely has said everything, you know, it is respectful, it is kind, and all of that I can give out. Now, I would probably take out some of the things like, I truly appreciate your insight into the learning preferences and a desire for more challenging material. That I wouldn't say that in an email to a parent ever. So I'd take that out, and I would say thanks for emailing me and reaching out for this. It's like I just keep that part there.
You don't want to make it sound too overboard.
Yeah, and that's what AI sometimes goes overboard because it doesn't understand you and doesn't understand your context. So you can jump in there, and you've still got the bones there. You've still got the meat, I should say, and it's just about putting in what parts, or taking out parts you don't want. So that's the email responder tool. Any final thoughts on that?
No, I like it. However, I'm quite intrigued right now what it would generate if you see that you wanted to sound angry, unfriendly, and like you didn't care. Can we please try?
I think we can.
Have you tried that?
I haven't.
I'm sure.
But, I mean, in the interest of a good tech demo, let's say angry, annoyed, and this is obviously things that teachers would never respond by.
And resentful.
Oh, and resentful.
How do you then tell me how to run my classroom?
So if I go into, let's have a look at the email that we get now. Generate one now.
I love technology.
Okay, let's have a look. It seemed to have a bit of trouble there. It didn't want to. It didn't think that it was not a good time to respond with an angry, resentful email. I mean, maybe this part here is a little bit hinting at that. Please let me know a convenient time for you. We can chat about how to best support Michael. Let's talk about this in person.
Because it's Magic School, I assume that ChatGPT will actually give you a response where you can sound a bit more angry and annoyed and resentful. But because it's Magic School,
it must have a filter.
Yeah, it's catered for teachers, so you're obviously not going to. So you can feel pretty safe using this tool compared to just going back to like ChatGPT. So I think it's really good.
If you're enjoying listening to this podcast, please support us by doing the following. Subscribe to our channel wherever you're listening to this podcast, and follow us on all our social media channels, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Find us at The Future of Learning. That's @ The Future of Learning.
It fills our mission and helps others find the podcast easier. Now, back to the episode.
Yep, and ChatGPT would just let you just say it as it is.
Say whatever, yeah. Okay,
so we'll jump into the next tool. So, yeah, that one 15 to 20 minutes saved, guaranteed. Report card comments. As we're all familiar with now, coming up in the middle of the year and end of the year, we've got to write report cards. For some of us, the comments are at the end of the year, some of us the middle, some of us both. The thing about reports card comments is that we want to try and individualize them as much as possible, but that's not always the case. It's not always, that's not easy to do because every kid's different and that's time per kid. So if you multiply the amount of time per comment, if you've got 30 kids, 10 minutes each, you're looking at a couple of hours on the weekend just to try and keep up. So how does this report card comments tool save you time? Well, it allows you to personalize the areas of strength and weakness for each child. And then you can take that and again go into how your school's writing comments and change them in that way. So I'll show you this one as well. So let's go back to it. So report card comments. Now I'm going to say she as the pronouns, areas of strength. So can you give me a couple of areas of strength, Marcy?
Respectful.
So she's respectful. Yep.
A good collaborator.
Cool.
And organized.
Good. And areas for growth. Let's say
time management.
Yes. She's organized with this stuff, but she doesn't know how long it takes her to get that stuff organized. And let's say writing. Okay, now, with each kid, I can do this fairly quickly, and we can get a general just here. So here we go. Areas of strength. She's a respectful student who consistently shows kindness towards her peers and teachers. Additionally, she excels in collaborative activities, actively contributing ideas and working well with others. She's also very organized, always keeping materials and workspace neat and tidy. And then the growth, it mentions time management, and it talks about writing. So elaborating by more on her ideas and paying attention to grammar and punctuation will greatly support her academic development. So I could take that, I could put that into an existing comment bank that I've got, and I could take out even sentences that I might think, oh man, I really like the way, I just like that sentence and that sentence and that sentence, and I can just do that.
Yes, and I think something that each teacher will have to do is then go and add an example to back up what you're saying in the areas of strength or the areas of growth. So Hughwyn is really struggling with his writing because da 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 da.
Yeah.
Or he's doing really well with his collaboration as per the activity he completed during Easter.
Yeah.
What it
Yeah. So you can, you can take the one that you get, and then you can jump in and add what is useful for that student. And again, it's if you're starting from nothing. If we had a side by side with someone writing the comments from scratch versus someone generating this from an AI tool, easily an hour would be saved. I think if they were next to each other. And schools, of course, have their systems where they're going to get you to go check your comment yourself, get a buddy to check it, then it passes through management. So it's still going to be checked by humans along the way. Just the sentences that you have to write are going to be, one, already grammatically correct, and two, they're going to be personalized to the students. So I think it's a really cool tool.
Yes, absolutely. And I think also it's when you have written about 10 already and all of them start to sound very similar, this is a great way of generating different ideas and giving you different sentence structures, and so you're not writing the exact same way each time.
True. Yep. Okay, jumping into the next tool. Now, again, we might have a problem where you have an activity in mind. You've got something that they're going to do. It might be reading. It might be a maths worksheet. Magic School has a worksheet generator. It's pretty simple, but based on a topic that you're covering in class, it'll generate a worksheet with questions and answers. So it'll have all the questions listed, and then generate an answer key for you to use as well. So again, if you're doing this with multiple groups or multiple subjects, this will at least save you an hour a week. So if I go into the back to the worksheet generator tool here, and I want to generate like at the moment the kids are working on flight. In fact, I'm gonna do one better. I've got in my files, I've got a text that we're reading at the moment as a class. If I was to upload the PDF to here and I hit generate, it's going to scan through the text and it's going to give me a fill the blank. It's going to give me some words that I think kids should be aware of. It's got multiple choice questions and some open-ended questions.
I think the beauty here is, this is probably my favorite, no doubt.
Yeah.
The beauty here is that you can really target the different levels in your class.
Yeah.
Because that takes a lot of time. That will take multiple hours for you to find different texts that children can access easily and understand, comprehend. Whereas now you have the one text simplified so they can all understand it, and the questions are targeted at that level. And this will take you 20 minutes versus a few hours easily, depending on the range of levels that you have in your classroom. So this is a game changer.
Yeah, and again, the part that teachers will have to jump in here to do is, one, make sure you've read the text yourself, and two, make sure the questions actually make sense. AI might hallucinate and make up some questions that don't make sense, but that's the job of the teacher, to come in and do that last 20 to 30%. So I think, useful, open-ended questions are always great. Simple, it's quick. It's an activity that will save you time. You don't have to think of the questions yourself and how you want to do it. So it's another good one.
Hughwyn, does it only generate basic questions, or does it generate other type of activities as well?
So if that example, I uploaded a document, but I could paste a block of text, or I can type in a subject. So if I do flight, for example, and I hit generate, it's got the grade level. I'll put year 7, and it's just got looking at the science of flight there first up. But I could be more specific about it. I could say the evolution of flight, or maybe even how flight's changed in the last 20 years. So that would generate questions based on that concept as well.
Okay, but it wouldn't generate activities like think, peer, share, or I see, I think, I wonder, so with images.
No, so that's a different. That's a different. Those are different tools. Now in Magic School,
Yeah.
there is a question. There's a section with if you're generating questions, you've got a different way. You've got different tools that do those things.
Okay.
So there's depth of knowledge questions. There's doing them as a game review. Aside, it's got a variety of different tools if you're just generating questions and answers.
Yeah. This one is just a worksheet.
Yeah. So if I do another one here, for example, if I'm doing based on the same thing here, if I upload that same PDF here and I'm looking for different questions or different ways, then I can do a similar thing here where I want 15 questions based on this text, and it's just very specific in that sense. So there's that one as well. The only challenge with this tool is that your texts, if they're online, obviously it's going to be a lot easier, but not all texts are online, so there's that to work with. But again, if you're keeping current with reading and they're reading current events, this is perfect for that.
Yeah, you can even that just as a warm up, like what's happening in the world, and
Yeah,
you can generate some questions based on something that's happening around the world.
absolutely. Okay, so again, this could, depending on your workflow, could save you at least an hour a week. Jumping into the next tool, the final tool that we're going to look at is the YouTube video questions. Now, we've all had this problem where we found a brilliant video. This is perfect for the class. There's no follow-up afterwards. Or you have to sit there and you have to try watch the video, watch it once so that you understand it, watch it the second time and try, sit there and think of questions that, might hit the mark or might not. But either way, you're spending a lot of time thinking about it. So this YouTube video question generator is pretty much that. It allows generation of follow-up questions and videos. So the time you save is if you're watching the video, it's the length of the video, however long that may be, and the time it takes to answer questions or to write those questions itself. So it could be quite lengthy. It could be at least 20 minutes, depending on the length of your video. So if I pull up a video here, kids watch this. It's the evolution of flight today. They watch that. And if I wanted a follow up, I wanted some questions that they can answer. It's one to check understanding, and two is just more engaging. So if I want 10 questions, I want their multiple choice, but I could choose free response or true or false. But just for this first one, and then you paste in the YouTube video link. I hit generate, and boom, here we go. Based on that video, it's because essentially what it's doing is on YouTube you've got the transcript of the whole video. It's scanning through that and it's generating questions that based on what's being said in the video could be the answers. And it's going to generate those 10 questions that I asked it to. And then, of course, it's going to give you an answer key. And even better, it's got the exact part of the video where the answer's mentioned. So there's no way that the kids could say, "Oh, that's not the answer." Yep, 27 seconds. There's the answer. You can argue with that.
That's amazing. I guess
Yep.
that the one thing to be mindful of when you're doing the YouTube video questions
Yep.
is to, again, like you said earlier, go over the questions, because the transcripts on YouTube are not always 100% accurate. So there could be some errors on spelling or even things that don't quite make sense. So again, you'll have to go back and check this, but very quickly, if you have seen a video before and you know, oh, that video that I watched a month ago, this is perfect now. You find the video, you don't have to rewatch it because you already know the video is perfect. You play, you have the questions. So yeah, it's a great tool.
And so you could change it to free response based on the same video. So 3 free response questions based on that. If you're not after multi-choice, and again you've got 3 questions. Now, what you mentioned before about AI being unreliable, or sorry, being needing to check it. Look at this. It's talking about solar system, but that's not that's not mentioned at all.
That's definitely not. Yeah.
So you'd have to go back and do it again. So it's not obvious. It's clearly not perfect. But if I let's try it again. Let's see if we can do it now. There we go. Now it's got it. So.
And this is something to be mindful of with AI and teachers using AI and the whole conversation going around about, will AI replace teachers? I don't think it's here to replace teachers. It's here to help teachers and here to help students enhance the learning. So it's a really good way of embracing it, saving time.
Yes.
Hopefully personalizing the learning to all your students, and don't feel like you have to be working all day long in order to achieve that. So it's a great way. Like, the tools are there. It's a matter of sitting down. They don't take long to get your head around them and just start using them.
Absolutely. And yeah, I think the best part about this is just if people have a go, experiment, and see if it helps your workflow. If it doesn't help you, move on, try something else. But I think the tools that I've shared today definitely going to save you time in one way or another. And I've had quite a joy showing this to people at school in particular. I think this will really benefit teachers that have experience and have been teaching for a while, because they may have resources or they may have a thought process that this is just like going to unlock things for them that they didn't even think is possible, but they've got the experience to now go through and find exactly what they want.
Yeah, on the flip side, though, I think it's also going to help teachers who are just new to the profession and they feel like they need to be planning all day and to have the perfect lesson plan. So this is a really good way of streamlining things, making it a little bit easier. Make sure they have something. They can still do the work in the more traditional way, but I think this is a really good way of having something in your back pocket in case that everything else fails.
Yeah.
Because I remember having always that fear. Am I prepared enough? Do I have everything? Or we'll run out of things to do. So with this, you literally will never run out of things to do. You can, like you said, just put a video and then get some questions and start a discussion. So
that's it. And kids will latch onto that. Kids will latch onto that, and they can go in a completely different direction. But it's definitely something that's going to be useful, I think, for teachers, these tools. And I think it's something that's going to save us time. So over the next few weeks, we'll look at a variety of other ones. And we look forward to sharing these with you over the next coming weeks.
Yes, thank you, Hughwyn, for sharing those. My proposal for our listeners is that if they're using AI or any AI tools, to let us know. If you are not using it, why you're not using them, or if you're thinking of using them in the future. So make sure you please comment in the section below and let us know how you're using AI and if you're ready to use AI.
Yep, absolutely. Please let us know.
All right. Thank you very much. We hope you enjoy this time-saving episode, the first one of the series, and we'll bring you more next week.
Awesome. See you later.
Thank you. See ya.